Hi, this is Mrs. Katz again, and this is the second part of the Unit 2 end of unit review for my advanced class. So let's get started. The table below shows the cost for varying numbers of meals at a local restaurant. If the ratio stays the same, we have to determine the value of n. This is really a ratio table. So we need to see if we can use a relationship we know. And I know that 5 times 4 is going to equal 20. So if I apply that same logic over here, 60 times 4 is 240. And it's $240. Please don't forget to put your units. If there's context, we need to make sure that we put the units. All right, question number 12. The ratio of red to blue socks in a drawer is 8 to 12. So I'm going to actually set that up, red to blue. That way I can remember the order. If there are 80 socks in a drawer, so if there's red to blue represents 8 to 12, how many total socks are in this? There'd be 20 total socks in this group. 8 would be red, 12 would be blue for a total of 20 socks. Now we've got the three pieces that we could use to help solve. So it says if there are 80 socks in the drawer, how many are blue? So we are trying to compare the blue to the total. So let's look at that. Our original, we had 12 blue socks out of the 20 we started with. And I want to know how many blue socks in a drawer full of 80. How do I get from 20 to 80? Times 4. Whatever I do on the top, bottom, I have to do to the top. So it turns out there will be 48 blue socks in a drawer of 80 socks. Question number 13. There are 80 people eating in a Chinese restaurant. If 25% of these people did not order an egg roll, we want to know how many people did order an egg roll. There's a couple of different ways that we can do this problem, but I recommend the following. If 25% of the people did not eat an egg roll, what percentage of people did order an egg roll? That would be 75%, right? 25% didn't. That leaves 75% that did. So 75% of the people did order an egg roll, and there are 80 total people eating in the Chinese restaurant. So that's our whole. We're looking for the part. I would highly recommend we simplify here. This becomes 3/4 when you divide by 25. And to get from 4 to 80, I multiply by 20. Whatever I do on the bottom, I do on the top. So that gets me 60. 60 people ordered an egg roll. All right, if David deposited $312 in the bank last week, if this represented 20% of his paycheck, how much was his paycheck? So $312 was the part because it represents only 20% of his paycheck of the whole. So this is what we're missing. And we know it was 20% out of 100. As usual, I would like to simplify. Divide by 20, I'm going to get 1/5. And 1 times 312 got me 312. So 312 times 5 should equal $1,560. Don't forget the dollar sign. This is money. All right, Mrs. Katz is saving for a much-needed beach vacation. She needs to save $3,500. If she only saved 30% of that amount, again, because I'm a teacher, how much has she saved? So if she needs to save a grand total, so that's our whole, of $3,500, and so far she's saved 30% out of 100, what part is that? Again, I would simplify by a factor of 10. Divide by 10, I get 3. Divide by 10, I get 10. 10 times 350 gets me 3,500. So 350 times 3 is 1,050. Now make sure that these things make sense. The answer is 1,050. And think about it. 30 is about a third of 100, right? There's about 3 groups of 30 in 100. So this money should be about a third of what we have. Well, 1,000 is about a third of 3,000. So we're probably on the right track. Those numbers make sense. All right, the prices of 3 different bottles of salad dressing are listed given in the table. We want to know which is the best value according to the price per ounce. Well, for each of these, we're going to take the total price and divide it by the total ounces that we have. So this is 21 cents per ounce. Let's take the $2.25, divide it by 15. Please don't forget these decimals. They're very important. So this is 15 cents per ounce. And if we take the 90 cents, divide it by the 5 ounces, it's 22 cents. So which bottle is the best value? The 15-ounce bottle is the best value. It is the lowest price per ounce. All right, in question number 17, it says that the weight of a rhinoceros is 8 kilograms. If there are 1,000 grams in a kilogram, how many grams does the rhinoceros weigh? So the weight of a rhinoceros is 8 kilograms. So we're doing grams to kilograms. So they gave us the 8 kilograms, and we need to find the grams. And then they gave us the conversion rate. There's 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. Now look at how I did that. Grams to kilogram, grams to kilogram, grams to kilogram. To get from 1 to 8, I multiplied by 8. So there will be 8,000 grams in 8 kilograms. 60 liters, and I'm well aware that you have other methods to solve that problem, but the focus of this particular unit was how can we use proportions to solve problems. So I want to make that clear. 60 liters of fruit punch were served at a party. If there are 1,000 liters in a kiloliter, so we know we're dealing with liters versus kiloliters, we want to solve how many kiloliters were served. So they told us that 60 liters were served. So the 60 goes with the liters. We don't know how many kiloliters that is yet. But we do know that 1,000 liters, again, liters, is equal to 1 kiloliter. So in this particular case, I can't simplify any, and I don't see a very clear-cut relationship here. So we can apply the cross-multiply. Remember I told you you're going to cross-multiply here, so that's 60, and we're going to divide by the extra number that is left over. So if I take 60 divided by 1,000, I don't have enough right now. I'm going to have to put that decimal up. It goes in 0 times into 600. Remember, anything after decimal, we got to put in those placeholders. And it goes in 6 times. So it'll be 0.06 kiloliters. All right, if you spend $30 on dinner out and you want to leave a 20% tip, what would your total bill be? Now, we've done these in many ways, but I'm going to use one method. If 100% equals 30, then 10% equals 3. And we talked about that in class, moving the decimal one time as we go. I need 20%. So 10% plus 10% equals 20%. And each of those 10% is worth $3. So it'll be $6 in tip. That's the tip. But let's be really careful that we read this. It says, what will your total bill be? Well, if I spent $30 on the dinner plus the $6 on the tip, I will have spent a total of $36. That is your final answer. If a store sells a shirt for $16 and you have a 20% off coupon, how much would you pay for the shirt before you have to pay any tax? All right, well, let me ask you this. If we take 20% off, what percentage are we left paying for? We're going to pay for 80% of it. So if it's 16 is the total, we need the part, and we want to know what 80% out of 100 is. Let me say that again. If I'm taking 20% off of the 100% that I started with, that will leave me with 80% of it that I'm actually paying for. So if we do this and we simplify by a factor of 10, you're going to get 8/10. By a factor of 2, you're going to get 4/5. And in this case, we're going to have to cross multiply. So we're going to cross multiply here. 4 times 16, which is 64. And 64 divided by 5. Two. We're going to put in a 0 placeholder so we can bring it down. And it goes in 8. So remember, this is money. Don't leave it as 12.8. It's $12.80. And notice 80% is close to 100. So we should be kind of close to 16. Certainly more than half. All right, and the last question here today is how much would you pay for the shirt in question number 20 if you include a 6% sales tax. All right, this one takes the $12.80 that we're actually paying for it, and we have to increase it by 6%. Okay, there's two ways to do this, and I'm going to do it there's two ways to do it. I'm going to do it both ways. Let's go that way. So if I'm paying a 6% sales tax, I need to know what we're going to multiply times 6%. And we talked about how you can change a percentage into a decimal by moving the decimal 2 places to the left. So we can multiply by this. 0, 8, 4, it's 12, 16, 7. There are 2 places after decimals. Oh, and then another 2 places after decimals, sorry. So that leaves us with 76 cents in tax. And actually, because there's an 8 here, we round up. So this will be 77 cents in tax. Okay? So if you were paying $12.80 and you add the 77 cents of tax, you'll find that you are going to pay a total of $13.57. Now, there's another way to look at this. If I'm paying 6% sales tax, then I'm actually paying for 106% of what I started with, right? Paying for the full amount, which is 100%, and I'm adding an additional 6%. 106% can be changed to a decimal by moving the decimal 2 places. So we could multiply by 1.06. 0, 8, 4, 12, 16, 7. And then it's 0 for this row and 0 because we're moving over one more row. What did I do wrong? I did something wrong when I lined up. I forgot this 0. Let's try that again. I'm still doing something wrong. Let me start that one more time. Sorry, guys. 12.80, 1.06. So the first row is 8, 4, 12, 16, 7. I'm putting a 0 placeholder for this row that I'm not using. Then I'm putting in an additional 0. And then 0, 8, 2, 1. 0, 8, 6, 15, 3, 1. And remember, this 8 is going to kick this up, so it's 13.57 either way. All right, I hope this was helpful. You guys have a test coming up, and I hope you use this to prepare. Thanks for your time, and let me know if you guys have any questions going forward.